afternoon and a very warm welcome to Borders Rugby TV. Today we're up in the magical kingdom of Fife at Beveridge Park, where home side Kirkcaldy welcome Borderers Peebles. Peebles are currently leaders of National League Division 2 with 67 points, with Falkirk and Lasswade in second and third with 66 and 58 points respectively, although Lasswade have only played 15 games to Peebles and Falkirk's 16. That means that Peebles must get the bonus point win today if they'd like to secure the title and that promotion spot. However, with the Falkirk and Lasswade game being off due to a waterlogged pitch, Peebles are going to have to wait another couple of weeks to find out if they will be playing their rugby in National League Division 1 or 2 next season. Now let's head over to the commentary box with Dale Clancy and Sam Mathews.
Yes, welcome along to Beveridge Park, and we've got a top of the table clash in National 2 to bring you Peebles hunting down the cherished land of National 1 against familiar foes Kirkcaldy, who have just been led onto the field by their captain Gavin McKenzie and his children Isla and Kai, marking his 300th appearance for the club a few weeks ago. And Kirkcaldy will certainly be up for this one. Quentin Saff, their coach, laying up against Graham Patterson in the opposite dugout. And Peebles are going to get play underway under their captain Jack Harrison, who's playing in the fly half position after losing the services of Ross Wolfenden to Scotland under-18s. We'll bring you the teams shortly, but play is underway because Charlie McVickers has just blasted his whistle, the exchange referee from the northeast of England, and the ball has been kicked straight downfield to Kirkcaldy. It's been well controlled by Donald Anderson, who's received the ball back and filters the ball to his brother Rowan McKeever, and he charges towards the 10-metre line. Takes a couple of Kirkcaldy players to bring him down as McKeever then gives the ball to Carrier. He tips on to Lawson, and then Ross Brown is stretched open his legs. He's got an opportunity outside him, and it looks like Neil Hogarth is the player there on the wing, charging towards the line, but it looks like he's just been held up short. And great run, great counter-attacking play from Peebles, who know a bonus point victory here is required to keep away Falkirk just behind them in the table. Again, another 40 towards the line. The Peebles players bundle in. That blue and red wall of Kirkcaldy just toeing that try line. The players litter in the opposition. The penalty is going to come the way of Peebles, and I think there's going to be an early card as well because the referee has flashed the yellow card. I think to the winger there, it does look like it's actually Callum Kennedy, the player who's been yellow carded. He just knocked the ball on, tried to intercept it, and flaps the ball down. Jack Harrison kicks the ball into touch, throw into the line out to Peebles. Sam Mathews, let me catch my breath.
Well, I think we can all guess what's going to happen from this line out with a dominant weapon like Matty Carrier from 5 yards out. But what a start from Peebles there. You know, reclaimed the ball very fast after Kirkcaldy tried to clear their lines early. And what I really liked, they attacked the late replacement winger in Aidan Reddick, who came onto the pitch, didn't expect to be playing. He's returned from injury. So, yeah, a very good dynamic attack to start the game off for Peebles.
Carrier throws the ball into the line, it goes to the tail, finds Ross Brown. He's been brought down pretty strongly. The referee is saying that has been illegally brought down. The towering second row, who's fought off a bout of illness, and there's certainly some good runs up in the wing there because he stretched his legs to open up that 2-on-1 opportunity, but he's taken a clatter at the line out. So it's going to be a penalty to Peebles. Jack Harrison, the fly half, has again just stabbed it off the field of play and will lock and load and go again. Matty Carrier with a chance to throw into this line out. He's just walking towards the touch line, gets the ball off of the ball boy. The rain is starting to drizzle down here at Beveridge Park, and the experienced hooker now, Matty Carrier, People's top try scorer so far this season with 14 tries, throws in, it's Rowan McKeever. It's been brought down again, and it looks like illegally so yet again. And I think Kirkcaldy are going to, well, certainly it's been what, we've had 2.5 minutes, and they're already on the wrong side of the referee. It's been 3 penalties in that time, already 1 player in the sin bin, and it's another penalty from the line out. So it's going to be Jack Harrison yet again to potentially just try and stab this off the field of play. Does it expertly as well, and it's another chance for Matty Carrier. The Peebles players, the forwards, not had to move too far in the last couple of minutes here as Carrier turns, takes the last instructions from Neil Hogarth, who starts it at proper game. We'll bring you the starting lineups when we get a break in play. Carrier throws, it's Rowan McKeever who brings the ball down. Now the charge from Peebles, it's powering towards the line, it's almost run aground, but Matty Carrier has packed down the outstretched arm from the match official yet again coming on. The referee signalling there's another penalty, and there is going to be another yellow card, and it does look like this time it's going to be Stephen Milne to get his marching orders. So Kirkcaldy already down to 13 men, Peebles another chance at the line out, and they're going to have to make this count in the next 10 minutes.
They are, but I like what they're doing when they keep going back to the corner. They're really trying to tighten the screw on this Kirkcaldy defence. They've identified that they can't stop their maul and that they're trying to bring it down illegally. Now that they've just lost their back row player in Stephen Milne, he looks like he was the line-out general for them in this defensive structure, so it'll be really interesting to see how they combat it now for a third time in 5 minutes.
Carrier throws to the tail this time. It's been flapped forward by Kirkcaldy this time, back into the hands of Scott Lawson, who does well to sweep up. He's starting in the back row position after impressive performances against Stirling and Hoyk, but a knock-on from the line-out is going to result in a scrum. So 4 minutes played here. Kirkcaldy down to 13 men already from a couple of infringements close to that try line, and it's a scrum put in for Peebles now. The rain starting to get a little bit heavier as the front rows now lock horns and congregate at this set piece, just straddling that 5 metre line, about 10-15 metres in from the left hand side, just opposite the club rooms here at Beveridge Park in Kirkcaldy. The ball rolled in by Max McKeever. There's a nudge coming on from the 7 men of Kirkcaldy as well, as it's filtered to Hodgkiss, and then David Collins is just splinters through the line from the wing. He gets his 11th try of the season, and for probably the opening 5 minutes there you thought it was going to be a forward getting on the score sheet, but it's David Collins again managing to breach that defence and running that acute line, and Peebles strike first. Yeah,
and it was great play by the Peebles backline there. They really emphasised with Jordan Charters hugging this touchline towards the stand side to really expand that defensive line that was missing 2 players. They had to bring a man into the scrum. David Collins joining the line late from the opposite wing, just filtered back inside, and as you say, splintered the defence perfectly right between the sticks.
A relatively straightforward conversion attempt for a man of Donald Anderson's experience, in just a couple runs step up. Lobbed forward by Gavin McKenzie and given to another bearded, experienced player, and Donald Anderson this time. He spots a gap and tries to weave his way through traffic, and he does well initially, then brought down just over the 10 metre line. Rowan McKeever finds Matty Carrier, and Peebles are loading up that blind side, and again Ross Brown stretching the legs, gives it to Finlay Collins this time, who scampers back in field but has been wrapped up well by the Kirkcaldy defence. Max McKeever, Scotty Lawson, he bounces the first challenge, goes off 1 then 2, then hails a run in field. He charges forward straight into the arms of Rory Brown. He's an impressive back row forward for Kirkcaldy. Hodgkiss getting the ball through the hands brilliantly, down just onto that, and then Donald Anderson, he's got a 2-on-1 situation, gives the ball to Jordan Charters, who receives it back, gives it to Donald Anderson, drops the ball. Jack Harrison almost tried to pluck that off the ground and get over the whitewash. Then Hamish Bell charges forward and has dotted the ball down, and Peebles made hard work of that, but Hamish Bell eventually getting over the whitewash, and we were saying they need to make it count with this personnel advantage. And it's been 2 tries in the space of 3 minutes here, and Peebles now lead 12 points to 0.
Yeah, and they've done a great job as well. Ross Brown again really making some metres, but giving that ball away before he receives that contact to do it. Great offload by James Hodgkiss as well. Took the ball as he received contact as well, put that out wide. I did want Jordan Charters to try finish it there, show us that speed he has, but to put it back in, and as you say, Hamish Bell took matters into his own hands at the end there and got himself over the try line. So a very good try for Peebles, making use of this 2-man advantage.
Great defensive work from Kirkcaldy, who are obviously down a few key players, but great defensive work from that 2-on-1 to make it a really awkward situation, because the third player there, or the fourth player essentially, was a Peebles player. So there was 3 players there that potentially could have scored that try, and eventually it was Hamish Bell who did get the try for Peebles. Scotty Lawson having to break quickly from that exchange there to try and shackle Kirkcaldy. Carry there from Matt Collins, a big turgid robust front row. He's a young player who's come through the system here at Kirkcaldy. Let's Kirkcaldy now go through the phases on the halfway line. Hamish Bell bundles a couple of bodies out of the road, but Kirkcaldy arrived with the ball. It's been given to Smith, but that loose pass has ended up in the hands of James Dow. He's been ragdolled as Kirkcaldy have to try and scamper to make this little passage of play a little bit more beneficial. But Jack Harrison sees some space in the backfield, so Jordan Charters has got his spikes back on. He's putting a little bit of pressure on Kieran McDonald in the backfield, and then Neil Hogarth is there. Neil Hogarth and Donald Anderson, a couple of those players who are bearing some scars of some heavy defeats here at Beveridge Park in years gone by. And that's a powerful carry from Rhys Bonner, the captain. A big forearm into the face of the Will Peebles challenges inside their own 22, but Peebles will benefit from a throw into the line out deep inside Kirkcaldy territory. a relatively experienced front row for Kirkcaldy. One of them, Craig Hamilton, a homegrown player, that throws in close to 100 games for Kirkcaldy. And then breaking round the side of that line out, Ross Brown is passive in the challenge and allows Kirkcaldy to steal a couple of yards. And again, a powerful carry there from the back row forwards from Kirkcaldy. Smith then linking up with the unblemished outside centre there of Timmy Kennedy, the twin brother of Callum at fullback, who got the yellow card earlier on in this game. And Peebles look to try and choke the life out of this contact situation, but Rowan McKeever has just stolen a march now at the hands of Jordan Charters, uses some good footwork and then some power to try and bundle over his opposite man. Ross Brown splinters through the defensive line, was almost scythed down by big Kieran Mitchell, who had lined him up from a couple of days ago. I think he'd went pretty early, but the referee let that one slide as Max McKeever digs about at the breakdown, then gives the ball to Jack Harrison, equally as adept at scrum half as well as Anderson, then gives the ball to Dow. Great offload to Davy Collins and back in field. He looks to go round the Kirkcaldy defender as they look to throw into the line out again. Kirkcaldy on their own 10-metre line. Take their time, a little bit of movement at that line out, but eventually they're able to find the hands of Seb Evans, an adopted Welshman here in Fife. Smith now looks to pass the ball on to a powerful carry from the number 8 there, Rory Brown, training with the Cali Reds ahead of the Inter-District Championship. Smith then floats the ball over Jordan Charters, who's been caught off his wing. McKeever is looking to charge back, and it's Max McKeever who looks to take his opposite man into touch. Mackenzie tips the ball on to Matt Collins, and Kirkcaldy now a sniffing opportunity as Mackenzie floats the ball to the powerful Rhys Bonner, the captain for Kirkcaldy, and he stands tall in contact and then is brought to ground. The Kirkcaldy players get there quickly, but piercing through Owen Bonner and thinks he spots a little chance in the middle of that breakdown there. Mackenzie finds Smith. Smith then takes the ball to the line, and then he's tackled by Neil Hogarth pretty high, who gets his body over the ball, looks to try and turn the ball over, but Kirkcaldy on the 22-metre line, slow played out. Give the ball again to big Matt Collins. He bundles his way towards the 22-metre line, and Kirkcaldy taking play down to a pace that they're happy to look to steady the ship and control the ball. Mackenzie gives the ball to the hooker, Craig Hamilton, who gets a rare foray with the ball in hand. Some players are working hard off of their wing as a big challenge almost came in there from John Gray, who lined up the player there coming round the corner, and Neil Hogarth gets over the ball, and I think at the last depth he just went off his feet, but the referee, the match official Charlie McVickers, had spotted that as a textbook turnover there from the experienced front row forward Neil Hogarth. Then it gives Peebles an opportunity to kick downfield. Yeah,
and Kirkcaldy will be very unhappy with how they've performed there. Obviously, Karen McDonald did such a good job in front of the stand side here to keep himself in touch and play through it. But yeah, you just need to get your men to the breakdown there. Kirkcaldy will be kicking themselves, especially the hard work their forward pack had done in the previous phases leading up to that turnover by Peebles.
A bit of movement at the tail, and it's a good line out. The referee happy with that, and they go straight off the top. Matty Carrier's having to just scrag on to the Rhys Bonner. They look to depart that congested area after the line out. Mackenzie barking the orders to some of his big carriers, and one of them, Stephen Milne. He's up towards the 22-metre line and has to contort his body to get the ball back into a favourable position for his side and allow the ball to be distributed to Smith, who links up with Mackenzie on the wraparound on the 22. Looking to unlock this Peebles defence, and it's an area of Peebles' game that has been very impressive so far this season. But Kirkcaldy are testing it over this period of time now. The ball from Bonner lifted to Smith. Smith looks to try and use sleight of hand to unlock the defence, not able to this time, and now it's up to Rory Brown to charge forward, and he takes a couple of players every single time he's got the ball in hand to bring him to ground. And Kirkcaldy are as close as they've ever been in this game to getting over that whitewash and getting some tries. Owen Bonner cuts back in field, again engulfed with the red and white hoop shirts of the Peebles players. As Stephen Milne, again hares towards that breakdown on that acute line, and now it's Bonner. Again, 3 players to try and take him down. The ball's been spilled, but then ends up back in a Kirkcaldy hand. The referee has got a good look at that as Mackenzie looks to find Smith, but back in field, lurking there was the captain Bonner, just on that fold back inside. And he perhaps has run into a little bit of traffic, but the referee signals that Peebles are off their feet. Kirkcaldy are going to go quickly. They just charge down and hare it towards the line. Now 2 metres shy of this Peebles try line. They look to pick and go round the corner. Kirkcaldy keeping it tight now. Just going round the side of the fringes. The referee is having a little look at that as well and has signalled that the try has been awarded. And it is the captain, Rhys Bonner, who's the last to rise. And he's been a powerful runner throughout this whole game. And it's no surprise he's one of the players rising up with the try.
Yeah, exactly. As you've alluded to, Rory Brown, number 8, and Stephen Milne. Besides his yellow card, Stephen Milne, he's had a very impressive opening first quarter of this game. He's been really dynamic in the run game as well. But as you alluded to there, it's all about ball retention in this wet weather. You don't strive for that extra metre, that reach. You just keep it with you. You know your opposition can't score while you have the ball. You pile on that pressure. In these conditions, a foot could slip. Somebody's going to miss a tackle. Somebody's not going to get the grip they want in a collision. And they've got their just rewards for what was a very dynamic and consistent set of phases there for Kirkcaldy.
Conversion attempt successful as well, as it's very similar to Donald Anderson's effort. It's just ghosted over the top of the uprights there from a very casual run-up. So Finn Smith,
with the conditions, you have to be patient. You have to earn your tries in weather like this, and Kirkcaldy will be used to it. So they have to be clinical, and not only that, but they have to be attritional.
thrown at the front as well gathered. Finn Smith then filters the ball to Rory Brown again, just deployed to truck the ball up as Smith gets the ball through the hands, and now the centre partnership is linking up, and Peebles have now been breached again. Kirkcaldy are in behind as they kick the ball forward, and now it's a foot race to the line. It's been brilliantly gathered by Kirkcaldy, who stretch over the line, and it's a try for Callum Kennedy, and it's been brilliantly worked. Weak defence from Peebles, and now we're all square at Beveridge Park after some innovative work from the home side. And after getting yellow carded after the first minute, he's certainly made amends, because that was a brilliantly well worked try from Kirkcaldy, and they draw things level.
Yeah, not only that, not only Callum Kennedy getting the war on the touchdown there after having to run through, great awareness and great dynamism to be able to contort his body to get the ball, but his brother in the centre, Timmy Kennedy, he was the one that made that big break, absolutely ran over James Dow, I believe it was, just outside there, but having that awareness to kick through as well, a real collector's piece try, and a really well worked one as well, and as you say, all square with a kick to come with Finlay Smith, who's playing very well as well.
When these two sides met on the 4th of November, there was a Peebles victory by 46 points to 17, so a bit of a gulf between the two sides on that occasion. But at Beveridge Park, Peebles have seldom found things easy, as the conversion attempt splits the Kinlan, so Kirkcaldy take the lead, and it's a brilliant conversion attempt from out wide, and it's now Kirkcaldy 14, Peebles 12. And Kirkcaldy are holding on to a slender 2-point lead as we approach half-time here at Beveridge Park in National 2. The ball effortlessly rolls at the back of that scrum, and Finn Smith runs towards the line. He's been well shackled by Jack Harrison against the grain now. It's again a marauding run from the number 8 there, Rory Brown. And Kirkcaldy, they sniff an opportunity before half time. Neil Hogarth over that ball, not able to steal it back, and powerful carries from Kirkcaldy, getting onto their feet and getting round the corner and offering up options for their scrum half, Gavin McKenzie. Slowing down. An auxiliary scrum half comes in, and Finn Smith gets the ball away quickly. It's been scooped away and almost running up into themselves there, but eventually it does open for Timmy Kennedy. They almost run out of options there, but somehow it just, the defensive line opened, and all of a sudden you had a sniff of a try, and Peebles concede the penalty, not rolling away at the breakdown yet again, and Kirkcaldy are going to go for a pop at the post, knowing that half time is approaching, and it's a wise decision from Kirkcaldy. Smith, right-footed kick, and it's successful, and the referee does bring the half-time to a close, and it's been a blistering start from Peebles. They got off to a 12-0 start. The tries from Davy Collins and Hamish Bell, one converted by Donald Anderson, and we thought it was going to be one-way traffic after that. We thought Peebles were perhaps sailing towards that bonus point victory. Half-time here in this crucial match in terms of promotion from National 2. At Beveridge Park, it's Kirkcaldy 17, Peebles 12. Play back underway here at Beveridge Park, and it's been kicked off by Kirkcaldy, and it's Finlay Collins with the first carry, and he's just been bundled to earth again. As this inspired Kirkcaldy side are certainly looking to try and leave their mark on Peebles. A couple of replacements on for the visitors. I can see Kenny Clyde and William Napier are on the field of play, replacements for Peebles. And we'll bring you the players that have come off. I can see Hamish Bell is one of them, and also Scott Lawson the other. Kick downfield from Peebles, well fielded by Kirkcaldy on their halfway line. Mackenzie gets there quickly. Now the forwards again looking to try and filter forward. The turnover there from Peebles looked like for Rowan McKeever. The referee quick with the whistle. Finn Smith, who has a chance now to run with the ball in hand. He's been marshalled there by Ross Brown, Kenny Clyde, Jack Harrison all there. The final one, the Kenny Clyde just flops on the ball, and now Rory Brown charges forward. Yeah, an important cog in the Kirkcaldy wheel in the first half, and now Kirkcaldy are through. It's Kennedy and Timmy Kennedy this time as Kirkcaldy make their way up towards that 22-metre line, and a shell-shocked Kirkcaldy side in the opening 10 minutes certainly look like a completely different team now. No. Around the corner now, Kenny Clyde is guilty of scooping the ball back. The referee signalled he's coming in at the side. Kirkcaldy get another penalty. They look to try and go quickly. The referee is going to bring that back, so it's going to be an interesting decision here from the home side. 17 points to 12 they currently lead, 2 minutes into the second half. And Peebles have 38 minutes to try and get the victory, and then try and get that all-important bonus point as well. Smith and kicks the ball into the roof of the Kirkcaldy clubhouse here, and Kirkcaldy now have a chance to start the second half with a bit of pressure of their own. Slow saunter towards the line out, and dry the ball finally from Craig Hamilton. He straddles the touchline and quickly rifles the ball in. It's been brought down, it's rolled off the back of the Kirkcaldy players and then into the hands of one of their own, and the referee signals that there's a penalty. And a little rumble of noise from the Peebles travelling support as well, who welcome that decision from the referee. And Jack Harrison now has a chance to kick downfield, and he finds a good touch just over the 10-metre line, and Peebles will welcome that little error from Kirkcaldy at that driving ball. Jack Harrison gets the ball off the 22 dropout, floats the ball to Davy Collins, who then goes back in field. He's been met with a stern challenge from Kirkcaldy yet again, who have brought on the services of Jack Denton. Peebles to McKeever, both McKeevers linking up there, Max and Rowan. Rowan, the latter of the two, charges forward as Max gets the ball and gives it to Matty Carrier, who's been somewhat quiet with the ball in hand in open play. Another replacement there is Buster Davidson, who's replaced Jordan Charters for Peebles. He makes his way towards the breakdown as Peebles enjoy a bit of possession with the ball in hand. Donald Anderson now takes the ball stationary, bounces back in field, and the flailing arms of Kirkcaldy are able to bring the fullback to ground, but he gets a knee to the deck to bring to the end that passage of play, and Rowan McKeever then ducks forward, and Finlay Collins grabs on to the coattails of his teammate. It's distributed to Kenny Clyde. The body's there from Kirkcaldy, not rolling away, so there is going to be a penalty coming the way of the visitors. A reminder, a converted try still doesn't take Peebles into the lead. We've played 14 minutes here in the second half. It's Kirkcaldy 20, Peebles 12, and Jack Harrison does find touch this time with the kick.
Yeah, and how much this game really turned on its head, kind of similar to the first half there. Now Peebles are in a real ascendancy at the moment. Kirkcaldy are just trying to weather a storm. They need that back row to get themselves on the ball again, get a bit firing, but yeah, real attacking play, and you've got players like Carrier, like Clyde, Ross Brown as well, real drivers with the ball in hand, so they're just going to try push this through now, and as you said, they need to get more than a converted try to get themselves back in front in the driving seat.
The Peebles players well spaced out, and it goes to the tail to Ross Brown and off the top to Kenny Clyde, and then it's straight to the heart of the defence, and it's almost opened up for the big marauding second row. He's been brought to ground, and now Peebles have an opportunity, and it's knocked on at the first attempt there from Max McKeever. Then Peebles, and what you needed there was a bit of composure, a bit of patience, and it's evaded them this time. Again, secures the ball, carries forward, doesn't make much in the way of ground, but a tip on there to Kenny Clyde, who's made a big impact off the bench. Max McKeever, then to Dow. Dow's got some players outside of him, one of them's Donald Anderson, and he floats the ball into the path of the fullback, who does well to gather. He sticks his fingertips onto that ball and is able to clutch it and maraud forward, and now William Napier pierces through a couple of Kirkcaldy defenders. McKeever finds Rowan McKeever, and now Matty Carrier, who just runs into the stomach of Ross Lithgow, a replacement for Kirkcaldy. Brown out the back door to Harrison. Harrison then evades the first challenge and then clatters, rolls and rotates to ground and presents the ball back. McKeever then finds Lawson. He's fighting to try and get a knee on the ground, but just not able to this time. And Kirkcaldy look to choke the life out of this contact situation, but Peebles do well to get the ball back on their side. There's a bit of a bun fight in there. The referee signals that there's a penalty to Kirkcaldy. And 15 minutes to go here. It's all going the way of the home side. A round of applause and a bit of encouragement from the supporters. They throw to the front this time, and Finlay Collins just launches a ball back to Max McKeever, who's then bundled on by the hooker, Craig Hamilton. Kirkcaldy thought they potentially got the ball, but Napier then thinks he's spot some space up this stand side, and he hares his way towards the 10-metre line. Kirkcaldy up quickly in defence and put a bit of pressure on the big ball carriers that Peebles are looking to deploy. One of them is Ross Brown. He throws the dummy and then looks to ride the challenge. He takes a couple of Kirkcaldy players with him. Peebles not looking to exploit the blindside as much as they did in the first half as Kenny Clyde picks and goes forward. Peebles at the breakdown now. Charge forward again. Scotty Lawson this time, and then it's in the hands of Max McKeever, Rowan McKeever now, who's been one of the pick of the bunch for Peebles this afternoon. Harrison playing at fly half, floats the ball into the path of a whole clutch of players. One of them potentially could have been a Kirkcaldy player, but has been knocked on by Peebles, and they cough up possession again. Max McKeever's got some options there. One of them is Jack Harrison, and gives the ball to Buster Davidson, who just knocks the ball forward, and Kirkcaldy then have a chance to counter-attack, and they're broken free from their 22. And across there was Finlay Collins sliding on his knees, and he put in a crunching challenge, because Kirkcaldy could have potentially been in behind the Peebles defensive line, and now scrapping at every last bit here. Peebles looking to try and get that ball back in their possession. The carry forward again by the big powerhouses that Kirkcaldy are able to deploy. McKenzie to Smith, and Smith is having to find a pocket of space to kick downfield. He's kicked it to Donald Anderson. Buster Davidson running infield for support. He runs a cut and almost gives up possession again, but he's run into a high challenge, so Peebles have won the penalty. And there's been a couple of errors in Buster Davidson's game in the last 10 minutes, but he did well to gather the ball. He took contact well and brought the penalty as well.
Exactly, did that. He managed to collect the ball and step inside at the same time. Ironically, that was a harder ball to take than the first one, which he dropped. So yeah, very well done, and as you say, drew the penalty out there for the high challenge. So he's got his team back within sniffing distance of the 22 of Kirkcaldy. So now up to Matty Carey and his forward pack to get this ball down and get them playing with less than 10 minutes to go.
Peebles are currently down to 14 players as it's been given out now to Buster Davidson. He charges back in field, he breaks one challenge and then is got on the second attempt, presents the ball back, and then Max McKeever gives it to Rowan again, puncturing through, great offload to William Napier, and another one there to Matty Carrier, and he's been gobbled up by the Kirkcaldy defence. And now Kenny Clyde, who's going to pin the lugs back and duck the shoulder and try and charge over this defensive resilience that Kirkcaldy have shown so far in this opening 75 minutes of this game. 5 minutes left at Beveridge Park. There's 8 points to overturn, and Jack Harrison then gives the ball to James Dow. He looked to try and evade the first challenge, then the second, but the Kirkcaldy defence do well to number up on the dangerous outside centre, Matty Carrier. He almost breaks free as well as he looks to pierce through. A couple of players are scragging onto the shirt as Ross Brown tips the ball on into the path of Hodgkiss, who the rangy inside centre has to do well to try and fight and keep the ball in hand. Rowan McKeever looked to try and break free and pick the ball and go, but he's knocked on, and there's another opportunity past Peebles by. And Finn Smith now passes the ball back in field, and Kirkcaldy time on their side and a numerical advantage on the scoreboard as well. Cough possession up, and there's going to be a scrum put in here as the heavens open at Beveridge Park, and Hamish Bell is going to come back onto the field of play. I think Scotty Lawson is the player being withdrawn after taking a sore one in contact. It's nervous stuff for the men from the Gates as they look to try and clinch promotion to National 1. They know a negative result here certainly takes everything out of their own hands, and it is probably a result that few seen coming. They've only slipped up this season so far to last Wade, a narrow defeat at the Gates, and then a somewhat one-sided defeat on the road to Newton Stewart, and then a draw against Newton Stewart at the Gates. They're the only times that Peebles have not come up as the best side on the day. And today, in difficult and challenging conditions, this could be the third side to defeat Peebles so far this season. The scrum nudging forward from Peebles, but the break away from the back of the scrum by Rory Brown takes possession away a little bit further afield, but the penalty is going to go the way of Peebles. They go quickly. Rowan McKeever, he gives it to Hamish Bell. He has just been ragdoll round the shoulders. The referee with the outstretched arm, penalty still to come, but time is against Peebles. They charge forward yet again, and then into the hands of Hodgkiss, and he dives towards the line. He tries to stretch forward, but to no avail there. And then another burrow forward from Matty Carrier this time. Look to try and present the ball back, but there's going to be another penalty. And it's going to go the way of Peebles as the referee comes and sets the mark centre field. And it's an interesting decision here for the Peebles captain, Jack Harrison, because he's got a couple of options. Do you honeypot everybody centre field and put the scrum on? Do you go for a penalty to get some sort of bonus point from it? But I think you need to. I think it's risk and reward here, isn't it?
I think it's really interesting because you need 2 scores in some form, don't you? You need a converted try and you need a penalty, or you need 2 converted tries. So, as you say, you take the 3 to start off with. That guarantees you at least a losing bonus point. They're taking a bit of time off now for injury. It looks like Aidan Reddick's down on the far side, but yeah, a real tough one. And this is where captains really earn their money in their decision making here. But the way it's set up, it looks like Ross Brown's going to go for it.
It does look like they're going to go quickly here. Ross Brown is just lurking over that ball, ready to go. The referee just signalling that there's going to be a replacement, and it's already on for Kirkcaldy. The replacement, Connor Young, coming on for Aidan Reddick, who's been withdrawn from the field of play. And now Ross Brown towers over that ball, quick tap, and then burrows his head forward. He tries to get towards that line, but again, defensive resilience. It stands firm for Kirkcaldy. Another chance there, and over the line. It does look like Matty Carrier has bundled his way over, the top try scorer for Peebles with 14 tries. Make that 15. Conversion to come. Peebles 17, Kirkcaldy 20 with a conversion to come. And that's an important try for Peebles.
Yeah, and as we've spoken about the back row of Kirkcaldy all day, but it was the main men there, wasn't it? It was Kenny Clyde, it was Matty Carrier, it was Ross Brown right from the penalty. They just knew exactly what they wanted to do. As you said, lugs down, head forward. They're not taking a backward step if they can help it. And now Donald Anderson, he's got a nice straightforward kick in between the posts, which he slots very quickly.
20 points to 19 now. Peebles trail. It's a 1-point game, and you've got to say we've only probably got about 3 minutes left to play here at Beveridge Park. Of 32 homegrown players between these two sides get play back underway. It's been gathered by William Napier on the 10-metre line. A low trundle and restart from Kirkcaldy has been gathered by Peebles, who know they need to get any sort of score to clutch this victory here and keep their position at the top of the table. We've got a chance as well for a bonus point victory. It would been made to work very hard for it, but they're going to have to try and secure the ball in hand. It goes into the wider channels. Peebles have to get there quickly to try and secure that ball. Difficult, challenging conditions to go from where they are on the pitch just now on their own 10-metre line to go all the way towards the Kirkcaldy try line. McKeever gives it to Napier, and it's John Napier this time. One of a whole clutch of brothers and siblings and relations on this field of play. Donald Anderson now gives it to James Dow. He looks to try and break through the challenges, does well to stay on his feet because there was little support there. Ross Brown clutches round the corner. McKeever gives it to Rowan McKeever again. He darts back in field, good footwork. He's then on the ground, and Max McKeever's got some options outside him. One of them is Jack Harrison. He gives it to the ever-experienced Matty Carrier. And the Rodden run forward as he takes a couple of Kirkcaldy players to get him down. Kirkcaldy working hard to get back into defence as Kenny Clyde is clattered in midfield and coughs up possession. Hamish Bell now with his hands over that ball. It's a knock on. The referee carefully watching this one. We've got time for the scrum. Put into the scrum now. They cling on together and ready just to rest shoulders against one another as it's rolled in, and the nudge this time does not come to much from Peebles as Mackenzie gives the ball to his fullback Callum Kennedy, who was perhaps one of the catalysts of the fight back from Kirkcaldy. Mackenzie into the hands of Brown, who's been a standout performer in this game for Kirkcaldy as the wind and rain swirls around Beveridge Park, and it's playing into the hands of this Kirkcaldy side as Peebles desperately cling on and try and grasp any opportunity that's going to come their way. Smith filters the ball into the hands of an on-rushing Kirkcaldy player. And slowly but surely they're looking to try and take advantage of any turnover, and Peebles do arrive with the ball in hand. It's now Buster Davidson and Max McKeever over that ball. Gives it to William Napier, who's again had another impressive impact off the bench. Kirkcaldy over that ball, presented well. Back there by Peebles into the hands of Carrier. He filters it to Jack Harrison. He floats the ball into the path of Donald Anderson. He's got some options outside him. He's hit high there. The penalty is going to come the way of Peebles. They've got a free ball to play with. Jack Harrison looks to go quickly and he looks to find Collins, but the ball has been knocked forward. So it's an opportunity to kick the ball downfield, and now they have time on their side. They've got the ball in hand. And they kick the ball downfield, and that is a good game for Peebles there.
Yeah, it's a great game for Peebles there. I wish Jack Harrison had maybe took a slightly longer pause to think about where he was kicking. He could have maybe got inside the 22 there, but
got 5.
as you say, they'll take it. It shows the dynamism they have. They managed to turn the ball over, quickly build themselves down. You'll now want to see that composure come into play like we spoke about earlier in the game.
Matty Carrier
Four left.
with his most important throw of the game, with the mud etched on his face. He's been a warrior for this Peebles side this afternoon, and now he needs calmness and composure as that sclaffed effort has just went squint there from the Peebles talisman. So it's going to be a scrum put into Kirkcaldy. The referee is asking
line out called.
What decision they want. They want another throw into the line out. And Matty Carrier as well to roll the ball over the ground there. You see that, the wry laugh from Sam Mathews, perhaps suggesting a bit of unsportsmanlike play there from Matty Carrier.
Tactical play, not unsportsmanlike, tactical.
A quick rub of the ball there from Craig Hamilton.
Yeah, he's the receiver.
And he does well to
Let's go, Blue!
Wash his face as well at the front of the line out. Both pods are coiled and sprung and ready to get the ball, and down on that is Matty Carrier. So Peebles now have the ball deep inside the Kirkcaldy 22. It's about composure. How calm are Peebles going to be now in their quest for National 1? They need to steady the ship here. McKeever gives the ball to Napier. He's been challenged well, and Peebles are playing with an exuberance that perhaps does not suggest that time is almost up for them here. The contact done there. Kirkcaldy do well to marshal that attack once again. Peebles came out the traps brilliantly well in the first half, and they're going to have to try and end it in similar fashion. The forwards again, Napier ducking the shoulder, charging forward, protecting that ball, as Max McKeever now gives the ball to Kenny Clyde. He rushes back in field, he's taking a shoulder but does well to present the ball back again. Harrison now sizes up his options and has to just hot-footed back in field. He evades a few challenges, ball in one hand, but does well to protect it. It's been plucked up. A carry forward there from big Kenny Clyde, looking to try to get towards that try line. He twists and turns and weaves. He can't get the ball down, but he's now a metre or so shy, and Peebles need to try and get this ball back. They're now lurking round the fringes. They're charging forward. The referee has got a good eye on this as he keenly watches on this passage of play. Peebles can ill afford to be held up or give any opportunity towards Kirkcaldy. The forwards rush in and try and take command of this situation. It's been charged towards the wider channels. Matty Carrier has been asked to try and bundle his way over the line, but he has been held up on the try line there. The referee has signalled as he was rushing forward. The referee has suggested that he's been held up. He signals there's going to be a goal line dropout here at Beveridge Park, and there's going to be another opportunity for Peebles to potentially attack, because we've got time on the clock here. It's Kirkcaldy 20, Peebles 19. We are in the dying stages of this game as Finn Smith eyes up a goal line dropout. He'll want to lump it as far down the pitch as possible, and he's got it up towards the 22 metre line. It trundles over, and Max McKeever does well to gather, gives it to Donald Anderson, and now they're looking to try and play expansive rugby. Buster Davidson powers out a first couple of challenges, and then it takes 3 Kirkcaldy players to bring him down. Peebles, Max McKeever gives the ball wider, and again the forwards charging on. There's an intent about this Peebles side which has vacated them for the last hour of this game. Rowan McKeever now has been well defended by Kirkcaldy. Calmness and composure, coolness is required as Hodgkiss splinters through. He skids towards the line, presents the ball back. It's ended up in the hands of James Dow. He then floats the ball onto William Napier, now 7-8 metres shy of the Kirkcaldy line yet again. McKeever gives it to Kenny Clyde. He powers over, he makes a couple of hard-earned yards there as the Peebles players and Kirkcaldy players, etched in mud, win the penalty for not rolling away. So there's a chance here. They look to go quickly. Matty Carrier goes, he bundles over the line. Matty Carrier has won it in the death for Peebles. He's gone over the line, he's taken the initiative. He took the quick penalty and just catapults his way through the line. The hooker, who was held up mere moments before, has just won it for Peebles at the death. They've got the bonus point victory, and it is Kirkcaldy 20, Peebles 24 with a kick to come.
And more experience from Matty Carrier there. He's came in from Hoyt, he's came back down the leagues, he took the team right with him there. He's just turned one losing bonus point into all 5 points to take away from it here, and you can tell there's 2 teams sat down there in Last Wade right now that will be furious that try has gone over. But as you can see from the stand in front of us, they are absolutely ecstatic. You can see Stevie Mathews, Nizzy, the whole team's there. Graham Patterson's keeping it quite calm, but the team's there, and as you can see, Peebles have now got in the lead with possibly the last kick of the game.
Conversion to come. It matters not a lot because it's just scarfed to the left-hand side of the uprights. But it is a bonus point victory on the road for Peebles, and the sign of good champions is winning when you don't play well. And they played atrociously for about an hour of that game, but it did not matter because at the end Matty Carrier stood it tall and showed his experience and took that quick penalty and squeezed through perhaps the biggest of gaps for Matty Carrier, but he got over for his 16th try of this National 2 season, and a valiant effort from Kirkcaldy. It ends up in a losing bonus point for that side, 20 points to 24, but Peebles march on at the top of National 2 and they've been made to work incredibly hard for it. But what entertainment we have been treated to this afternoon here in Kirkcaldy at Beveridge Park, and it finishes in National 2 on Rugby Radio. Kirkcaldy 20, Peebles 24.
I lost for words, to be honest. I didn't think we were going to do it in the end. We went 12-0 up early on and they came back and they were strong for the whole game. And then last 5 minutes we managed to get 2 tries to secure the win. So brilliant.
Well, you said it, you started off like a train, 12-0 ahead, and against 13 men it looks as though you were cruising, but suddenly Kirkcaldy came back. Yeah,
we knew they were going to be strong in the forwards, and they were. We had a job stopping a couple of our players and they were just getting over the game line, and once they got back into it they got their confidence, and we struggled to stop them. It was probably one of our poorest performances, but that's all credit to Kirkcaldy. It was some game from them.
And it means that you get all 5 points, and it means that if you beat Aberdeen Grammar School on March the 16th, you will be champions and promoted.
Yeah, that's what obviously was a goal. We thought it was slipping away from us there, but we stuck at it, and that's all we can really ask for. I suppose you make your own luck, and thankfully we came away with a result in the end.
How do you feel about these boys in the team today? Because they stuck in, kept with it, and even as I said, when you looked as though you were beaten, they got through in the end with that dramatic finish.
Yeah, we've got quite a few young lads who haven't played an awful lot of first team rugby, and we've lost quite a few players. Murdo Anderson, our captain, Will Aitken, Ross Rowlington, and for people to come up, people to step up from a second team who haven't actually played that much rugby. Young Max McIver at Scrum Half hasn't played a great deal of rugby and had a cracking game, and that shows the depth that Peebles has got coming through the youth system just now, and it's more. That wins more than just a team. It's a club. We need that to go up to manage to keep players at Peebles, and hopefully we can go up to Aberdeen and finish the job.
And it means the destiny of the championship is in your hands. If you win, then you're champions.
Yeah, and I know it won't be an easy match up in Aberdeen without any means. We beat Newton Stuart up there, so it will be a tough match. But we'll have to sharpen up on a few things in a month's time. So.
Congratulations, I'm sure it will be a happy journey back down to the Guides tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
It wasn't the prettiest of victories, but we'll take it as it goes. Happy to obviously cross the line, but I would have given it to anybody at the end there just to get the points. Yeah, I think there was times in the game I didn't think nothing seemed to go our plan. There was balls getting spilled left, right and centre, but you always got to have that wee belief. Obviously, like I said earlier, I was one of the most experienced, so you've got to try and keep everybody calm. When we scored the first time, the third try, and we still had 8 minutes to go. That's plenty of time to get more points on the board and get that win.
And it's not the first time this season that Peebles have scored a sort of last-minute victory. Did that, if I remember rightly, at last week as well.
Yes, I think we're running out of luck a wee bit, but hopefully one more game to go. So hopefully we'll know. We said in the huddle at the end that we'll be hopefully putting a better performance up at Aberdeen, and we'll not leave it as nail-biting as that.
Well, you got the 5 points. That was what you wanted. It means that the championship destiny is in your hands, because if you beat Aberdeen, then you'll go up as champions.
Yeah, this is it. This is what we came for. We came for the 5 points, and we've said it for the last few games now. It's always been in our hands. If we just keep picking up results and wins on the road and stuff, then it'll be our title.
Well, what an exciting finish to the game that was. With 7 minutes to go, it was 20-12 to Kirkcaldy, and they looked like they had it in the bag. However, Matty Carrier wasn't going to let that lie, and he scored his 15th and 16th tries in the last 7 minutes. And indeed, it was in the last seconds of the game that they scored their bonus point try. Now it's all in their hands. They've got to go up to Aberdeen and win that game, and then promotion and the title are theirs. But from all of us here now at a very wet and dreary Beveridge Park, cheerio.